Satanic Witchcraft and Systems of Magic. Over the last 1,000 years, witchcraft has come and gone in many forms. There's been many topics and discussions of who's right and who's wrong, who has the rights over it, and so forth and so forth. But when we look at the grimoires of ancient times, such as the Black Raven, the Grimorium Vernum, the Constitution of Pope Honorius, the Red Book of Appin, and the Grand Grimoire, we see many different types of structure when it comes to demonolatry. The mystical workings or summonings of these deities. We see a different hierarchy, such as in some, Satan is the ruler of hell, whereas Lucifer would be his second in command. Other topics suggest that Lucifer himself, the morning star, is the head of hell's legions, with Satan being the governor. Now, when we look at these systems, we also look at the sigils. Not only the structures, but also the meanings behind each one. For an example, if I was going to make a pact with a demon, it would come down to one of two. Say, for an example, if it was just your average pact, I'd go with Mephistopheles, and I'd use his sigil to do it. The Demon of Pax, as he's called. He's also known as Faust, the demonic master of witchcraft, or I should say magic, and divination. Whereas Luciferage Raphael is the prime minister of hell. He is also the one who is the pact maker within the infernal means, within the empire. So these things are very good to know. So if I was going to go into witchcraft, I would call upon Astaroth, the Grand Duke. Whereas I would call upon Satan for being the master of, you got it, witches and warlocks. These things are things that you all need to know if you're getting into black magic, or what is categorized as dark magics. Every system has their own workings, and they've all have their own mystical direction. Personally, I have my own system that I go by when it comes to these grimoires. Every grimoire has a unique medieval viewpoint of satanic magic or satanic witchcraft. For an example, the Warlock's Book, very impressive book. The Satanic Warlock, for an example, is a system of mystical working, but also a sense of mentality. It's more based off hypnosis. It's based off the Satanic Witch type stuff where it's seduction. Just like the Satanic Witch by Anton Zandalave that was actually forwarded by Blanche Barton. Now, I'm not big on the Church of Satan. I believe they become lazy and, well, to be frank, I agree with my colleagues that the Church of Satan is not a satanic church at all. It is a double negative that cancels itself out, because you can't be a devil worshiper and an atheist. However, since these materials were actually written by Anton Zandalave, and a couple of his followers that have actually gone out and started their own temples and orders, there's a few that are actually worthy to study, such as The Devil's Notebook, The Satanic Witch, Satan Speaks, Secret Life of a Satanist, the Satanic Bible, and the Satanic Rituals. All of these books are good because they're filled with such information. But if you do not believe in these workings, you shouldn't be doing them. But to get back to the topic of information when it comes to the systems, the magical workings, you have to look at the sigils, you have to look at the runes, look at the demons, or angels, if you wish, because a lot of these higher-ups are actually angels, and they actually rule over the demons. Now, Satan in the El Jawah speaks upon him being the leader, and all his demons are his followers, his ambassadors, if you wish. Now, by knowing this, we can submit ourselves unto the demons and to Satan himself. We see it as a learning guide. Learn from the demons. Learn from Satan. Okay, learn their techniques, who they are, what they're about, how to call them forth. What does it take to call them forth? What are their strengths, their weaknesses? Now, this is where I'm going to go into a more downside or negative viewpoint. Alistair Notch, a huge fan of his work. And this is where we happen to agree on this topic. Number one, if you're going to contact a demon, never keep them waiting. Number two, keep your altar room clean, your apartment clean, and most of all, yourself. It not only sets a good example, but it shows what you are willing to do and that you respect these demons and your role. Thirdly, always have an offering. Demons have a tendency to expend a lot of energy crossing the different dimensions, the different planes of existence. A blood sacrifice, say 3 drops of your blood, is a very good sacrifice because it replenishes their life force. But at the same time, it shows that you respect them. Fourth, when you contact them, never keep them waiting. And I'll tell you why. Because of the fact that by not coming out and saying, well, this is what I'm calling you forth. Okay? This is what I need from you. Will you help me? Okay? You sit there and you dance around the issue, the topic. It's going to piss them off, number one. And number two, they may lash out at you. Or you'd simply be white-walled, which basically means you've been cut off permanently until you either make restitution or you apologize directly to that demon. Otherwise known as learning your lesson. However, if you do not do these things, there's 3 ways that they can come at you. Number 1, they whitewall you. Number 2, they strike at your friends and family. If you still do not learn from that, then they will strike at you, most likely terminating you. Otherwise known as possession. Okay? So when we look at these grimoires, we look at their studies, we can adapt them to make them our own, but we have to keep the original templates in order. So when we look at them, read them, study them, and grow from them. How should I put this? Make a relationship with them. Let them guide you, teach you. That's what a true demonolator really is. A true black adept will learn from them. They will grow and become individuals. They'll become maguses, masters of their own domain. So with that said, hail Satan, Agios Satanas, and see you next time.